Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you all for coming back here today. I am your host, Kimberly Clemens of Chats and Chuckles. This is the day that the Lord has made, and I am truly rejoicing here today. I want to say thank you so much. I really do appreciate you all coming back today. I want to tell you, once again, we have an amazing guest here today. I'm smiling, y'all, from ear to ear. If you can just relax, put your feet up, grab your coffee and your tea, you are going to enjoy this beautiful lady here today. I'm going to let her introduce herself by just saying her first name.
Well, thank you for having me, Kim. It's an absolute pleasure to be here, and it's just great to be in your presence. Nayamke.
Nayamke.
Afi. Umwafrika Moore.
Come on.
Yes. So Nayamke means God's gift.
Come on, God's
gift. Afi
gift.
means love, and Umwafrika means son or daughter of Africa.
How amazing is that?
Yes.
Beautiful name. Beautiful name. But we call her Nan.
Yes.
Coach Nan.
Yes.
So I want to say that just out of the love, the respect, all of that, where are you from?
So I am Atlanta born.
Atlanta born.
Detroit
okay.
raised.
Okay.
It's a blessing to say that. I represent both. I currently am living in Georgia, but always Detroit through and through. That's my roots, and this is my hometown, so it's always a pleasure to be back.
Wow, amazing. So Atlanta born.
Yes.
Detroit raised. Mm-hmm. Those two go hand in hand.
Yes, it does.
Hand in hand. Yeah. Now your name. Now what tell us where the name comes from.
Yeah, so my church is a historic church here in Detroit, Michigan. Started in Detroit, Michigan, the Shrines of the Black Madonna.
Okay.
And we have expanded to Atlanta, Houston, South Carolina. We have churches in all those regions. And our founder was a revolutionary civil rights leader, Albert Clegg, well known here in Detroit. And our church just spurred from an African-based tradition, so we're Pan-African Orthodox Christian. I grew up that way. However, I feel that I grew up more spiritual than religious.
Right.
So definitely knowing and being in tune with who I am as a person, who mind, body, and spirit. Live, move, and have your total being. Just knowing those dynamics. Didn't understand it more until I became an adult of what that meant, but definitely a big part of who I am, and we grew up Afrocentric, learning African traditions, things of that nature. Celebrate Kwanzaa. We celebrate a lot of the traditions that people are starting to become more knowing about. These are things
aware.
that I have known since a child. So yeah.
Wow, that is so, I think that's really special, that you had parents and you had a church that reared and raised you in that culture, knowing who you are and then knowing the meaning of your name.
Absolutely.
I didn't learn the meaning of my name until I was well into my 40s. So my name, Kimberly, is from the Royal Medals.
Okay.
So it means royalty.
Okay.
And then also seeker of truth. Y'all, I'm going to dig till I find the truth. That is just, who I am. But your name is very powerful.
Thank you.
Very powerful. And you carry it very well.
Thank you.
So, I want to tell y'all how special she is. Asking her to be on the show, I did not realize that she literally lived out of state.
Yeah.
Lived out of state and made it a priority to come and be a guest on Chats and Chuckles.
Absolutely.
That just makes my whole year for you to take this time out for, this spot here.
Absolutely.
Today. And it's Black History Month.
Yes.
So I count that as
every day is Black History, but definitely February.
Yeah, and you know what? I think we're coming around to really embrace that.
Yes.
Though it's celebrated, in a month, I think we should celebrate the history literally every day because we can learn a whole lot more, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So you're doing some great things, just being who you are, right? Being who you are. So tell us a little bit about the things that you have done. I don't want to get into what we're going to get into in the second half, but I want to talk about just, like raised in Detroit, what high school did you attend?
Okay. So I went to Ferndale High School, graduated in 2005. I literally just celebrated my 20th year anniversary last year. So,
yeah, when you look at this face, 20 years out of high school, you look like you just graduated from high school.
some must have been good in the genes and the water. And a lot of my class still look young. We still look like we just graduated. So Ferndale High School, I am a product of the west side of Detroit, Royal Oak Township. I stayed on 700 Seward at one point in time. So I've been a little bit everywhere in Detroit, and it's a blessing to just be back in a city that has basically been a defining part of who I am and who I've become.
Okay, so now that's the magic question. Who are you?
Okay, well, I think there's a lot of different facets to me. If I can just describe, I gave the meaning of my name, and so I'll sum it up with that part. Entrepreneur, coach, student, and teacher. I like to learn. I like to be able to be in rooms that I can grow just as much as I'm giving out. When I say coach, I'm a current business consultant coach. However, I'm also a former collegiate coach. I coach women's basketball. I coach high school. I've coached young girls, boys, a little bit of everything. I am a person that likes adventure more now. I still got to learn how to swim in the deep end. I'm learning how to swim in the deep end. I could get in there and do a little something, but if it's past a little bit right here, then it's a little struggle. I get a little nervous. But a daughter, a sister, a friend, daughter of Andrea Moore and Brian Moore, Kafine and Berdisha are their African names. Sister of Imani Moore, sister of Kinasa Rivers. I just somebody that's enjoying life, true definition of what it means to live with love and be a reflection of all the gifts that God has created me to be.
You're an amazing young lady, I tell you. Really amazing. So let's talk about that. The word that stands out right now to me is collegiate coach. Okay. So so Ferndale High School took you where? After high school, where did you land?
I went to Indiana, Purdue Fort Wayne. It's currently known as Purdue Fort Wayne now. They changed the name, but my degree was Purdue University degree.
Okay.
So it was a blessing to be able to have a Big Ten degree at an institution that was smaller, community, and I think a lot of places I've been has been community based, and that's what I was raised on. So any environment that expresses community is a true reflection of what my upbringing was, true community love, things of that nature. So Purdue Fort Wayne, I went on after that to play pro in Flint, Michigan with the Flint Flames first, and then we transitioned to the Flint Monarchs.
This girl is moving so fast. So you've played collegiate ball.
Yes. Division One.
And then Division One. Throw that in there. Yeah. Division One ball.
Yeah. Full scholarship.
Full scholarship. So that means you got good handles. You got you listen well. That means you know how to follow instructions, do your own thing. Yeah. Wow.
And work well with others.
Team player. Mm-hmm. Okay. Full scholarship.
Yes.
So you the bomb, really. Really good, right?
I think that was, I might have been my graduating year. I might have been the only person in my class that received a full Division I scholarship that year.
Yeah, that's a huge.
Males and females.
That's huge
Yeah.
to receive that type of scholarship.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So you went on to play professional women's basketball.
Yeah. With the Flint Monarchs, well, Flint Flames first, and then we branched into the Flint Monarchs, and they went on to carry on for years. A lot of people I played basketball with in Detroit came along and played after their college days. A lot of people that are now my closer friends. We grew up together. Things of that nature. It's been a blessing to just kind of see what that path has done. Yeah.
That's really, I'm so intrigued by that because a lot of people don't know. Like I love sports.
Okay.
But I played basketball.
Okay, cool.
And I will tell you, like I will say took it very serious,
Okay.
but I didn't take it serious in high school.
Okay.
In high school, I had the big head because I was in the backyard,
Okay.
killing the brothers and the nephews and the guys in the neighborhood.
Okay.
So, I didn't know how to balance that.
Mm-hmm.
So didn't even try out, or try a little bit and made a fool of myself because the attitude was really bad.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you tell someone that is in high school or in middle school, because it starts before you get to high school, how you have to have a good attitude, be able to, manage your emotions, manage your thoughts, even while you're playing something that you're passionate about. What would you tell someone that's in middle school that is looking to be successful with the sports?
So well, I started playing at about 6, 7, and I actually did start playing with boys. That journey, Kehinde Briggs at my church was my first coach who taught me the game, the fundamentals, and I think the fundamentals is important in anything. So I tell people sports is life and life is sports. You get a reflection of both through what you do. Mm-hmm. So if you're the same things you have to learn in life, you have to apply through sports too. The fundamentals, what's your foundation, how you're going to build upon that foundation. And because I learned the basics early on and I continue to, that became a part of my journey when I played pro. Like I had to revamp myself into a shooter, and but they said in order to play pro, you got to be able to shoot. So I got with a shooting coach, and we was just doing basic shooting stuff, and that really helped me just understand that portion of it. So I would just tell someone that whatever your passion is, always know that the basic foundation is going to be a big part of that. And in sports, you got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in your work. A friend of mine told me in 2018, work your plan your work and work your plan, right? Mm-hmm. And if you do that, then anything is possible. So you can't prepare, you can't under-prepare. You should always be prepared to go into whatever you're trying to accomplish. And in basketball, it takes time, work. Some people think you just wake up one day and are great.
Right.
This was years and years of hard work. And in middle school, a lot of the boys wanted to play. They see you good, and everybody want to play and beat you, and think that they can beat you, and then you got to explain to somebody, mama, that you done beat their son. And, like, so just but I had a great following. I had a great support system, even with the boys growing up, and a lot of them in high school supported me. A lot of them, always wanted to push me to be better because they saw that I was good, and I think that's a blessing. So, yeah.
So being good, like when you look back on that experience, before college, did you believe that you were that good, or did you have some doubt?
I felt like, because I went to camps, and I went to one particular camp, the Blue Chip Camp in that was the Blue Chip Camp that was in Kentucky. Kentucky. I went to that. My coach brought me to that quite a bit. And from that experience, I feel like that allowed me to see my talents compared to people in other states. And then when I played AAU basketball, travel basketball, we would go to tournaments and we would be able to play against other people. And I remember going to a tournament, we played against Candace Parker's team. So this was you being able to see, and Detroit had a lot of talent too. I mean, I was in Ferndale, but a lot of people I played against or with was Detroit, Southfield. I mean, this pretty much all the same pocket.
Yeah.
West Bloomfield, Pontiac. First time playing with girls was in Pontiac. So when I got out there to play with them, a lot of my friends who are still friends today, and like playing with boys helped me with that, and it allowed me to see that, okay, I am gonna be all right. So just having those experiences along the way, and then I think that blue chip camp really helped me see myself with a lot of other people that was invited to that camp from all over the country that was pretty good. And then, scholarships start coming in or phone calls, probably my sophomore year, junior year, where I was able to get the calls and things like that to really know, like, okay, this is serious. And I started taking visits. So back then, Division I was all people talked about.
That's right. That's the big time everybody wants to get there. So the support that you had, definitely from your family, your community, like, were you at any time getting the big head back then?
I don't think so. I don't think I did.
So you wasn't like me, like, I know I'm good. I know.
No, it's I'm glad you asked that, because it's a video clip of me from my high school year, actually. Someone who the person who recorded it, well, he interviewed me, Versailles Maxey. He sent the video to me a few years ago, and it was me in high school, and it talked about what my goals was and what I was trying to do, and I talked about the team, and I felt like I always was about our team just as much as, I knew I was good. At my freshman year, I had a situation where I think I kind of got a little ahead of myself, and some of the seniors kind of like, I was a freshman on varsity, so some of the seniors kind of snapped me back, but they was sisters. They was good sisters. But I think a lot of it, I knew I was good, but we were so much of a family that I felt like I wanted all of us to enjoy it together. And my teammates knew, okay, Nan probably gonna be the one that's gonna go the furthest. However, we were big with each other in terms of our sisterhood, and everybody mattered. Every contribution was important, and they held me accountable too. I may not have listened at times. That might have been the thing. I might have not listened at times, but I don't know. I don't think I was ever big-headed.
I like how you express that, because I think about even myself, like just knowing I was only good because how my father would teach my brothers. And I didn't have anybody else to play with. So, I studied what they were doing and I became good, but I didn't know how to manage that, as I got, older. But for you, when you talk about who you are, you definitely are a people person, a caring person, and a person that loves to work with people. Yeah. And that success really shows, and from like you said, as a young person, being successful at every stage of your life, and to become that good. What are some of the things that now, like when you look back on those experiences that you had, whether it was a travel team or camps or scholarships, getting all of that stuff, what are some of the things that you see that you have grown in?
I would say I think I've grown in patience. Of course, when you're young, you ready to tackle the world, you just ready to see stuff, you just ready to get after it. I think I've grown, because I've had a lot of coaches. My high school coach, Logan Lanier, who's took another father figure. A lot of times through sports, we have mother and father figures, and through community, we have those same people. I think just kind of being able to see the direction, right? And like you said, you had a guide to show you your dad, and you saw your brothers. I was able to see through a lot of the influences that, it's going to be okay, that life is going to be okay. And these same people I can call and tap into today and still have conversations. Of course, it's adult-like conversations, but it's conversations where we enjoy each other and we're embracing each other. I will say I do feel like time has created more patience for me. I don't think I was ever an impatient person. However, when you're in your 20s, life is a lot different from your 30s.
As you get older,
and I want to enjoy the last bit of these 30s. So, so I think, patience for sure. And just the understanding that, like I said, through every trial and tribulation, there's a lesson and there's a blessing from those lessons. I've had a lot of lessons, a lot of things that I would more than likely do differently or do certain things in those moments differently.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't regret those things happening because I think life is experiences, whether it's in friendship, relationship, interpersonal, business, whatever experience you get out of that at that moment is a greater good coming from that. So you just got to enjoy it,
Yeah, absolutely. Enjoy it. So where are some of the places that, that ball has taken you?
Wow. So I think I've been coaching wise, I've been to some interesting places. I've been to Utah. I've been to Vegas. I'm literally every North and South Dakota State. Never thought I would.
I know
ever
who
say
goes
that
to North and South Dakota, right?
We went there in college.
I will say that is on my list. My list.
It wasn't on mine. Seeing them bisons, and we went to North Dakota State, and their mascot was a bison. So you see livestock and stuff like that out there. Colorado, I've been to Colorado. San Diego was really nice for me. I've been there because of basketball. And these are either through coaching or playing.
Okay.
North Dakota and South Dakota was doing my playing days. I've literally been probably every state almost. Kentucky. Never thought I would have went to Kentucky. I actually, like visiting there now. LA quite a bit. So I've been around a lot of different places because of basketball.
Been around, met a lot of different people,
Yes.
a lot of experiences. So when you look at just your life, as a woman in that sport, and we know some of the challenges that they have on the outside, is there one thing that you can say that you would hope that would change in the world of basketball for women?
I think women's sports is constantly changing. I do think that the biggest thing that I can say right now is the rules and regulations. I think a lot of the rules and regulations that are changing benefit the men's side a little bit more quickly than it does the women's side. Things right now, college sports is real big on NIL, and there's situations where they're allowing pro athletes to come back. Well, people that have been in the G League or played overseas have been able to come back and play collegiately for the NCAA. And on the women's side, there was a young woman who had to sit out games because of that. So, same thing. It's the same situation going on, but why is there a difference in the rules and regulations of how you all are determining these things? So I think there's a lot of growth, and definitely from when I played to now, women's basketball has come a long way. And I'm not saying it like I played when they played with three on three, like that little small little straw basket. I didn't play that long ago. I played when 5-on-5. Everything was still what it is today. Is just that funding has changed. People's concept of women's basketball as a whole. I think when I started playing travel ball, a lot of mothers were there too, but you had fathers and stuff. It was people more on the like, again, that community feel. You know how you had your growing up in the community, you went to school.
Yeah.
Your teacher was somebody that lived in the neighborhood. That's what AAU travel ball felt like back then.
Wow, y'all. That's really, really good, because that you just brought me back in my mind. All right, we're going to take a short break. Please go ahead and fill that coffee cup, get that tea back, and we'll be right back.
Have you ever wanted your own TV show? Have you dreamed of showcasing your talent for the world to see? Well, now you can. Have your own TV show. You can have your own 30-minute show. Not only will you be seen in the Detroit area, but you can be viewed worldwide. For more information, call 313-868-6612. Visit our studios and receive a free TV interview to promote your business, church, or organization by appointment only.
Hey, I'm the new girl at WHPR, Kimberly Clemens, the host of Chats and Chuckles. Tune in on Tuesdays, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Chats and Chuckles. I am here to bring life to the chatter that matters.
Want to stay in the driver's seat of your health? My Mobile Health units remove barriers to getting prevention healthcare services. My Mobile Health brings free or low-cost services to local communities, so you can easily access health screenings, lab tests, vaccines, guidance, and more. We're paving the way to better health. See when and where we're rolling into your community at michigan.gov/mobilehealth. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
The biggest leather and fur sale is happening now at Begali Leather, where luxury meets craftsmanship. From sleek men's jackets to elegant ladies' furs, you're gonna love everything at Begali Leather. Every piece is made to impress, perfectly fit, timeless design. And right now, get 50% off. Yes, 50% off the entire store, including meat, fox fur, and premium leather for men and ladies. Direct from the manufacturer, no middleman. Only at Begali Leather. Unmatched quality and unbeatable prices at 8 Mile and Kelly and East Point.
Justice for Mario Willis. Truth. Facts. Evidence. Mattered. Log into justiceformariowillis.com. Read for yourself.
Watkins Broadcasting is going worldwide. Now you can watch Detroit's own WHPR on your TV from anywhere in the world. No matter where you are, you can stay in the know with WHPR TV and Roku. You can get your easy-to-install Roku box from wherever you shop for your entertainment gear. Once your Roku box is connected to your TV and internet, go to the channel store on the home menu of the Roku box. Enter WHPR TV in the search engine and add it to your channels. That's it. That's all you need to get the best in entertainment, news, and talk, no matter where you are. Roku brings all of your favorites to your TV. Netflix, Hulu Plus, Crackle, HBO Go, and now WHPR TV, Detroit Live.
Claudine Jackson thought she had it all until she was faced with the challenges of raising an autistic child. Inspired by autism is her brutally honest journey filled with heartbreak and triumph. Get your copy and find the support you deserve today by visiting www.claudinejackson.tv.
313watkins.com. Streaming on Roku.
Welcome back, everybody. I tell you, in between these breaks, y'all, we have a good time, whether we're on live or in between. So I want to get back to talking to this beautiful lady here, Coach Nan. She's already shared with us her life of growing up and her name meaning and how she excelled in the world of basketball and used all of those things in her life, whether it was basketball or everyday life, she's applying it. So I want to talk about some of the things that after basketball, what are some of the things that you have gotten yourself into?
Okay. Well, after coaching, I stopped coaching and, well, I wouldn't say stopped. I transitioned out of college athletics in 2022.
That's recent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Recent.
Yeah.
So you coached all the way to 2022.
Yes. So from 2013 through 2022, I was a college coach.
So was it difficult to step out of that?
It was hard. It was somewhat hard in terms of going into a new chapter and understanding that. But I followed the Most High, the Spirit, the ancestors that led me to be able to maneuver to other talents and gifts. As I mentioned, God's gift is the meaning of my name. So there's so many facets of me, and I wanted to be able to expand into some of those things. In 2020, I started the pursuit for my insurance license and life and retirement planning. During that time, I didn't pass the test right away, but I passed it my last year in coaching.
Come on, pass the test, because those tests are not easy.
Not at all. It took me three times to pass. Yep.
So insurance?
Yes.
What type?
Insurance.
Life insurance. Okay.
Retirement planning. Yep.
So
financial service industry. Yep.
When I lived in North Carolina,
okay,
my husband's a Marine, so we've traveled around, lived in North Carolina, and I went to get my insurance license,
okay,
but it was for home, auto, boat. And I swore when I moved from North Carolina, I would never take that test again, because it is very challenging, worth it, once you get into it. So once you passed your test, I know that was another, great achievement that you could pat yourself on the back for.
Yeah, I actually I waited to the end of my final season coaching, because I took the first test in 2020 during COVID, and I didn't pass. I was literally 1 point away from passing. And I'm like, y'all could have gave me this little 1 point. Y'all, why y'all do this? So,
the world don't give you nothing,
exactly,
right?
Yeah. I'm like, but so I got past that, and I took a pause. I didn't take the second test till probably maybe a year later. Didn't pass that one. So I waited till after my season, my last season. So I've coached at Claflin University. That was in South Carolina. I went on to Robert Wesleyan in upstate New York, Rochester, New York. Then I went to Hamilton College in Clinton, New York. And then I finished at Chicago State. So during my time at Chicago State when, I was preparing to transition out. So at the time, a good friend and the head coach, Tiffany Sardin, I told her before I took that job, I said, hey, look, I probably got 2 more years left in me to do this, because I have some other things I think I want to pursue. And this was her first head coaching job. She said, Nan, come with me, and I'll put you in positions to, do what you need to do to make it happen. And she did. And exactly 2 years to when we talked was my time that I gave. And the last few months of right before I got out, or before I finished, I let her know. And at that time, it was a combination of things that I had worked on over my coaching journey, tools and trainings and certifications, working with youth and things like that, and young adults. And that led me to start my business. So at my at Chicago State, we had our little groups that we had. Each coach had players that reported to them. And in my group, I asked them, I said, hey, what do you all want to talk about this year? And like, what are some things that we want to work on? Because, those groups were mentor groups, things like that. And literally, I had already wrote down some of the stuff that I wanted to work on with them, but I had been building up. So financial empowerment, mind, body, and spirit, team building, self-development. And 3 of those things they said that they wanted to work on. So I'm like, okay, so this is perfect. This is perfect timing. And that's by the end of the season, I had figured it out and started my business.
That's really encouraging, to see how God helped you along, to that point, and then gave you the desire of your heart, and then to be young, being so encouraging, and then wanting to empower other young people. Yeah. So did they receive you well, from as a coach and a mentor?
They did. A lot of my players, I'm still have relationships with them. A lot of them, we reach out, we communicate, we have group chats. A lot of them, still see me or they'll call me. I've seen their children. I've seen them get married. I've seen, and one thing that I used to say when I was coaching in the recruiting process, because you got to get people to come to your school. So I would just always be authentic and real and just let them know, like, hey, there's a lot of things that you can focus on in the process. And a lot of times people look at this school because they got all these big things going on, or it looks extrinsic on the outside, and it's just beautiful. And then you look back at it and you may not have some of the things that you really need that matters, right? And I would tell players during the recruiting process, I would say, you can pick a school that you can have the glitz and glamours, things of that nature. However, when it comes down to it and you're in your 20s, your late 20s and your 30s, can you still see yourself having a relationship with that coaching staff, with those people at that school that help you become who you are? And if you can't, then that may not be the place for you. And that was one of the things that mattered in my process, was what place, when I played college, what place can I grow as a woman? What place can I still see myself building dynamic relationships with people? And at my alma mater, I got a chance to go speak there literally a couple weeks ago. And I went back, they brought me back in to speak at the same place where I used to actually sleep on that campus. And so that type of stuff matters, because when you're in your 20s and your 30s and you need somebody to call, hopefully it's one of your coaches or somebody that's helped you along the way.
Wow, that is really good, because who really thinks like that, especially looking for a college? We want the big name, or we want the athletic department, or we want, that big stuff that we think is important. But like you said, you got to think about the big picture. That big picture is so important. Yeah. So life insurance, you're doing well. Is it your own business, or are you working for? I'm
with a company, Freedom Equity Group.
Okay. Freedom Equity. Yeah. I don't think that's by happenstance, right?
No, it's I met someone here. Actually, my best friend, one of my close friends, Letitia Luckett, her aunt is who I connected with in 2020, and that's how Delisha Henry. That's how I got started in the insurance and flow from there, and then I started the consulting business. So all these things go hand in hand, because I can teach financial knowledge and things that young people and people in general, because I don't just work with college teams or high school teams. I work with organizations. I work with groups, churches, things like that. So when I go in, I want people to have all these things that I'm doing on a daily basis is what I'm giving back. And I tell people, I don't teach what I don't preach. So you got to practice. You got to practice the game. You got to practice.
Oh, that's
right?
good. I like the associations. Life and the game. So so you don't just help those college students or high school students. You can be an everyday person that's living and doing whatever it is that you want to do, and they can reach out to you for that literacy.
Well, they can reach out. Well, the team and investment, so team and personal investment coaching is my business that I do. That's the big portion. Life insurance, retirement planning is another tool of another business that I do, and then I'm also a Legal Shield independent associate. So I help empower people through a lot of different ways and different avenues, and I feel like all these things came at the right time, at the right moment. Legal Shield came across when I was pursuing support for my business to continue to help my business grow. And it just made sense because it goes hand to hand. Some of the aspects, the tools that we provide by having access through the legal system and getting your will estate plan done. I use them quite a bit. I'm not saying I'm out here causing trouble, but I've had to use them for, traffic tickets or two. And that goes hand to hand with the insurance. So if I'm helping people prepare for life and they're putting their families in a better situation, they need to also protect those things as well. So it's been a blessing, and I get to go into places and just be my authentic self. But the full consulting business is open arms, touch a hand, touch a heart. And that allows me to go in and work with teams, groups, organizations, anything of that nature that really want to not only have team growth and investment in their teams, but personal growth for the people that are part of their teams as well.
So let's say that again. What's the name of the other business?
Well, it's Open Arms, Touch a Hand, Touch a Heart. I have the shirt on today. Beautiful logo, by the way.
Open Arms, Touch a Hand, Touch a Heart. Mm-hmm. That's beautiful.
Yes.
Because everybody needs a touch, right? Somebody can use that.
Reach out and touch. That's the song, right? Who sung
that? That's Diana Ross.
Okay,
that's
see.
Diana Ross.
Come on, Diana. I should have known that.
That's the Detroit roots, right? Mm-hmm. But let's talk about that. Let's see how you are incorporating that into the communities that you're touching here in Detroit. Atlanta, where are you doing that at?
So I'm everywhere. I've worked. I actually had the chance in 2023 to work with the Detroit Pistons. They brought me in to do a She Hoops tournament. So I hosted a panel. She
Hoops, come on.
So that was a highlight. I mean, all of them are highlights. But coming from Detroit, being in the hometown, and you grow up watching the Pistons and you get a chance to do something in their organization, like that touched me quite a bit.
You know what, that is very special. To be able to be called on to come back, not just for to play, but to really teach people how to be better in their life.
Yeah. And I've worked with colleges, quite a few. I actually worked with Marion High School here in Michigan. All girls school. I worked with Cranbrook Kingswood, one of my former players that I coached. She's the head coach over there. She brought me in to work with their team. I've had the chance to work with a high school in Adrian, Michigan. Got a chance to work with that high school. I've worked with Madonna University here in Michigan.
Wow.
And I've been to other states. I've been other places. I've worked with other organizations. I've worked with one of the organizations that I'm actually a mental health first aid instructor as well. I forgot to mention that.
I love that. Y'all know, this lady is really special because, when I think about just sports or high school, middle schoolers, the collegiate level, when you think about women, especially in sports, the men normally get all of the resources, or at least we think they get the resources, they get everything that they need. I never seen or heard, any of the resources that the women, get and need. And for you to be doing that has to be very fulfilling for you.
Yeah. And someone asked me that question, like, where can, and I believe you asked it too, where can women's game go? And even if you can't, it's not always about the money. You can put resources in. You can provide ways that they can learn things that they can apply on their own, right? And where they can be able to come back and teach someone else some things. And I've been able to do that. One of my good family members, Bakari Alexander, he's a former college coach, and he mentored me during my time collegiately. He coached in Michigan during the John Beeline era, and he's coached at UAD. He's known here in the city. One thing that he told me was that he said that basketball, this is my freshman year in college, and I wrote a paper on it. I still remember it to this day. My first communications class, because originally I was going to school for molecular biology.
Wow.
And I had to, when I saw what was going on and what I needed to do to get through that, I said, let me change course. And,
okay.
And I took one communications class and fell in love with communications, mass media and public communications with a minor in media production, is what I have from undergrad. So I wrote a paper, and in that paper, he said, we talked about relationships, and he said basketball has to be your best relationship during your time in college. He said, this orange and black thing, it can open doors for you. It can, if you treat it right, if you take time with it, if you give it care and tenderness, it'll take you places you've never imagined going. And that stuck with me from that moment. And here I am later, because of basketball, I've been able to open up other doors for myself and really be able to go into places that I never imagined I probably would be. So.
Yeah, that's really amazing. So your organization, you're touching people literally all over. And how can they get in contact with you if they want to, receive what you have to offer?
Absolutely. So, and also I did work with a home healthcare business. One of my good sisters I grew up with, Brittany Hill, she brought me in to work with Thrive Healthcare LLC in Georgia. That was one of my first virtual clients, actually. So you can't catch me virtually. So open arms, touch a hand, touch a heart. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. You can catch me on all those media platforms. My website is coming. I have it. I'm ready. I'm preparing to release it this year. I was waiting on. I got my trademark last year, so I was finishing up some things. Thank you. And that was a long process. So definitely wanted to make sure I have things in place. The foundation is important before I just start releasing stuff. But you can follow me on those social medias. You can email me at openarms, thth@gmail. I do send out information on how a person can learn more about what I'm doing and also be able to partner with me and connect with me and bring me into whatever experience they would like for me to have with their teams through the organizations that what I do through my business. So people usually see a presentation, and through that presentation, they get a full understanding of the services and what they would like to either have or special catered for their team and their group.
Wow, that's great. That's great. So with all that you do, what are maybe just a few things that you want people to know about you that they necessarily don't know or may have misunderstood?
I think as people see me more, doing what I'm doing and speaking, I think people have a good understanding that my heart and again, God's gift, love, Afi means love, my middle name. So that's a big reflection of who I am. It has been a struggle at times, I will say, because a lot of times we give love and don't often get the love back that we desire. And that could be, and let me say that's not necessarily because of anything that we're doing directly. A lot of times some of the things that we desire have nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with the space, place people are in. So I think that's a big part of me understanding the journey is just alignment. I think at this stage is really just big on alignment. What does alignment look like to me? Who's aligning with me, and how that is helping me grow and flow on this journey. I don't get too deep into like what's going on, my personal life, stuff like that. But I'm enjoying this journey. I'm embracing the flow, and it's just that means a lot to me to just have good energy around and people that really are big on elevating themselves and meeting people where they are too. That's been big for me, is meeting people where they are and allowing them to be the best versions of themselves in their space and not making anyone feel less than if they're not where you want to be, and not allowing them to make you feel like you not where you are because you've done the work. We constantly a work in progress. I constantly do the work, as I mentioned. Everything that I'm teaching are things that I have to work on every day. things that I have to apply every day. And oftentimes when I take a step back and I'm not doing things, it's because I'm being reset myself, right? We're not, as we're growing, we're not exempt from going through learning curves and pains. And we have to be reset ourselves sometimes so that we can come back better and stronger and give the most of ourselves on this journey.
Wow, that's so good, I tell you. But I'm sitting here thinking, man, like you really have it all together. And I'm not saying that in a, like, oh, you're perfect. I'm saying that you've learned a whole lot. You've had some great guidance. I'm pretty sure you've made some mistakes, but you've, looked over those things so that you can grow and to be better. Are there any people that you've met, on this journey that you absolutely will never, ever forget?
I think it's a lot of people. I'm very well connected. I think, one of my good friends, she say, I bet you Nan still got her first grade teacher phone number, her phone. That's how connected I am. I keep up with people. I show up. I feel like, I don't know if anybody ever taught me that. I saw that in people. Show up for people. You show up. Whenever I'm in Detroit, I may not have it all. I may not be able to do everything I want to do, but if I can show up, I'm gonna show up. If I can be there for family, and I'm gonna do that.
I can attest to that because I had no clue that you were out of state. And just to say yes, to be able to, come here, to go through all that you have to do to get here, to say yes, you do show up for people. Yeah. You absolutely show up for people. And, in return, people show up for you.
Yeah. And that's a blessing. A lady, I was at Kava yesterday in Kenton, and a lady, I got back in my car, I was just kind of getting the directions together, and she knocked on the window, and she said, God told me to tell you that everything's going to be okay and you're blessed. And I'm like, it was so random. It was so random. And she got in her car, and I thanked her, and I rolled her window down. I said, you know what? I really needed to hear that, because oftentimes I'm always the one, I feel like, I won't say always, but it does feel like I'm often giving that encouragement to somebody else. Mm-hmm. So to see random things like that happen to me is great, because they say check on your strong friends, because oftentimes we go through things, we grow through things, we may not always show it, but I'm just blessed to be able to have good interactions. My cousin's here, I talk to her quite a bit. We have good interchanges of just like what's going on, where I have to like express kind of. It's moments, but my snap back into reality is very quick. It's very short term. Like, okay, we got other things to focus on. It ain't always about showing people things, because the universe is gonna correct what it needs to correct regardless. And it's done that very beautifully in my life. Because it ain't.
Look, we can't do it like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really do appreciate you, sharing who you are.
Thank you.
And opening up to, letting us know the things that you do.
Thank you.
Your name, the powerful name that you have, you're walking in your purpose, and thanking God every step of the way. God always will send a reminder that you're not forgotten about.
Thank you.
He'll always send a reminder of how much you're loved.
Thank you.
And that woman that knocked on that window at the right time, you got what you needed.
Yes, absolutely.
And it won't stop there, for you. So tell us again how people can reach out to you with the things that you're doing, whether it's the life insurance or the open arms.
Yep. So you can contact me, openarmsthth@gmail.com. I believe this is live streamed on my Facebook page. It might have been tagged. So Naim K. Moore on Facebook, Naim K. Afi on Instagram. You can check me out there. reach out, connect. I do a lot of things in the community. I'm here all week. I'm teaching a mental health first aid class tomorrow. I am going to be at a senior center, St. Pat Senior Center, on Thursday, doing some wills and estate planning understanding, as well as some stuff with the Legal Shield Services with the St. Patrick's Center, and they're also doing a elders Valentine's Day dance. So I'm not popping up in there, but I will be. I might have to go in there and do a little. I do like
what?
I'm an 80s baby, so I might need
this
to go
the
up in
season where them seniors, they getting it together. They getting ready for them Valentine's parties. So if you can pop up somewhere, that would be a treat. You think?
Yeah. And I'm also gonna be doing with my Legal Shield family on Thursday. We're doing a networking mixer at Owl and Oaks here on this Thursday coming up. So we're doing a Ignite and Elevate networking mixer. It's going to be really great. People could come out to that on Thursday, 6:30 p.m. So I'm here all week. I'm going to be busy. However, I'm making time.
That, I tell you, this has truly been an amazing time that we shared here for this hour. And as everybody know, our hour usually goes by, so fast. But I thank you for coming to share, what was on your heart.
Yes.
And then you here all week.
Yes.
Doing the work,
Yeah.
really doing the work, touching people and making sure that they, get what you have been taught, get the wisdom that you have. And you're so young.
Yes, I'm going to appreciate the last of the 30s this year. This is I can't believe it, but this is the last of my 30s this year. So I'm gonna enjoy this ride, and I'm just grateful and thankful and blessed to be able to be youthful. And I do want to shout out Minister Esther as well for setting this up as well.
I tell you,
that it's a great connection. I'm grateful for all the dots that's always connected, and she's been one of them.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we want to take this moment to shout out Minister Esther, beautiful woman. And that connection came from our good friend Darwin, Truth to Power, and the connection to RJ Watkins here at WHPR. I want to thank you all, the connection to you all. It truly is a blessing to be able to host Chats and Chuckles each week from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. So I'm going to thank you for sharing with us today. And I'm going to ask that you come back next Tuesday so that we can meet another fantastic guest. So you all have a great day.
Yes.